Hey folks, before we get going in this video, I just wanted to give you a fair warning. This video is about capturing a live animal, dispatching the live animal, and hopefully using the live animal for its fur. It is also about animals that have rabies in this area, and so part of the trapping of this animal is for a community service. But if you have a problem with anything to do with trapping animals or dispatching of animals or hunting of animals, you might want to click away now. Otherwise, I hope you find this video informative and like and subscribe. Thanks.
Hey folks, so turns out Nome has a fox problem. There are quite a few foxes in town that are rabid and have caused problems, have bitten people, bitten dogs, and are just causing general nuisance around town. And there's a big long backstory on it that we'll get into another time. That said, we've got one in the yard of the place we're renting that I've seen go up and down this little alleyway between the two garages on our property. And there are scat and urine spots between the two garages, so it's likely living somewhere between these two garages underneath this garage here, or potentially even underneath our house over here. There are tracks of showing it going underneath this house, going underneath the neighbor's house. So we're gonna see if we can't get it on some trail cam for the next couple of nights, and then we'll see about getting a trap out here to see if we can't trap the thing. So here's where we're gonna try and set up the trail cam. It's got a pretty good view down the way. I want to set it up so that it's right between the two garages, but we'll catch it if it comes running either through here or up this way along the garage. I borrowed this trail cam from my buddy, so we'll see how this thing works. First off, let's see what we got going on as far as where we're aiming this thing. Alright, so we've got our trail cam set up here, pointing it between the two garages. We'll see what we get over the next day or two. I'm afraid that piece of plastic up here is going to trigger it to go off a bunch of times because it blows around in the wind, but really any critters that come through here are what are really going to trigger it. So here's hoping that we get some decent footage from it. In the meantime, it's a wait and see. Well, folks, night one didn't produce any results. I didn't get anything on the camera. I got a bunch of pictures of myself setting up the camera, but I didn't get anything actually on the camera. There are tracks from last night. It snowed last night, and there are tracks in the snow from that fox coming through here. On top of that, if we take you back here, you can see where there's been activity, and you can see some scat there. And where they are burrowing underneath the house right there, you can see the actual spot in the scat and in the various urine spots. So we're gonna try and get this thing on camera again tonight. So I'm gonna reset up the camera. We're gonna hopefully get it tonight. That'll give Drew and myself a chance to really understand where it is and what it's doing and what we've got on our hands here. I don't know why it didn't take any pictures last night. It evidently didn't trigger. So we're gonna set it up. We're gonna see what it does here. There, so I think this might work. We have the cam here pointed really right through this alleyway. And you can see it snowed last night, so those are fresh tracks. And if there were tracks up alongside the front of the house or along the garage driveway there are tracks on the other side of that boat which go to the other side of this. Then there are tracks running down that way. So hopefully we'll catch something on camera tonight. And then we can think about what we want to do next. So now we've tried 2 nights in a row and haven't gotten anything. So what we're gonna do tonight is put down some kibble. We rearranged where the camera was, and we put kibble kind of up close to the camera, so hopefully we'll get it tonight. I'm also gonna set this camera up, the GoPro up, on a time lapse out the window. It's going to be dark, so I don't know how well it's going to work, or what, if we're going to even get any images out of it. I could potentially leave the outside light on, which should at least shine a little light out there, but I don't know if that would impact whether or not that fox would come up or not. So we're going to give it a whirl and see what happens. So day 3 of To Catch a Fox. Last night we got the time-lapse video that you saw earlier. Now we've got the trap. I got Drew here to explain how these traps work. We know the fox is down here. We can even see the hole that it's going into. It came rushing in and out of here as you saw last night. So we're gonna set this trap up. So Drew, you want to explain what we got going on here?
Sweet. So we got a live trap here because in the city of Nome there are ordinances against using any kind of trap that physically harms the animal. So for us, we're going to live trap the fox. It'll be still in here. It won't get hurt at all. And yeah, we're going to catch a fox hopefully by the morning.
Cool.
This thing has a couple springs there that lift it up from where it's locked into place. There's a pan here in the back you'll see. And the pan actually, when the pan is stepped on, it closes this gate. So we have, if you can see this tiny little catch here, this catch is what we hook up to the door. So you got this wire here running that goes back to the pan, and when the fox comes in and steps on this pan that's under this pad, then it will push it down
and close the gate. Excellent.
You can see the pan there. We're gonna just barely cover it up and see, make sure there's nothing under the pan so that nothing prevents it from pushing the trigger off.
If the pad will cooperate.
Oh yeah. We got a little bit of tuna in there. We're gonna put way at the back so he has to step all the way in there.
So in the end, we ultimately got to make sure that we cover all the mesh so the fox essentially doesn't see the mesh.
Yeah.
Because it will look at that and it'll go, the mesh wire, and we'll go, no, not interested.
Yeah. Not no more. No. And also just got to be careful not to cover the latches so that it can still lock.
Close itself.
When the fox gets in here. So we just want to make it look as natural as possible for them. We can do a little test to make sure this works. Some testing work. Should be testing.
Yep. Door's latch. So what if he decides, like last night, he comes through here?
He'll come around.
Is he gonna walk around it? You think he'll just go right past it?
I think we'll do a couple trails of kibble.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
different directions, and just have the majority of it in the back there.
Sure. Hopefully the thing in his environment, a new thing in his environment, doesn't throw off his patterns.
The food usually will trump the need for food will trump the, you know, curious. Should I go in here?
Right. Yep.
The other thing I just thought about that I'm going to put this in there for is so that we can put the kibble in there.
Oh, sure.
And this actually has a little bit of fox scent on it.
Okay.
So it helps them maybe think it's pretty natural. They'll be curious.
The other thing we're going to do is we're going to try this trail cam again tonight somewhere. I'm not sure. It wasn't capturing the fox last night, so I don't know, or the last few nights as a matter of fact, so I'm not sure how, I don't know, I'm not sure how we're going to get it to do so, but we're going to set it up, see if we can't find a better place to set it up and see if we can't capture it. So why are we covering this with cardboard?
So just to make it more of a natural thing, Tim, and a cage out here. We're actually going to take some snow once we get this covered on the top and dump the snow on top. And then kick as much snow up to the sides as we can on it.
Make it look
and
like
make
a
it
cave.
Like a cave. Yeah.
Sure. So it's lucky that we had this junk wood on the property that we could use. Well, I don't know. It's probably not junk to whoever is using it at some point, but from our perspective, it's junk and just happened to be sitting here.
Look at that.
Nice.
You might want to look from the front end too.
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Now.
Essentially, turn it into a little cave. Have that dragged down. Don't cover it in snow to make it less obtrusive, I guess.
Yep.
And then toss some kibble inside it. And... Alright.
Bill would probably be able to tell you they've got one right now that they've sent out for testing.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got another one a couple months ago that did test positive. And then close to here, in another village, I forgot where it was, but they actually had a positive rabies in a fox that...
Yeah, wasn't that that was north of here, I think, when I was reading about it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, you could technically hand it over after you do what you need to do with it, hand it over, or would you do it even before? You just give it to them, say, hey, can you test it, and then you get it back, or would you...
No, I'm sure the testing...
They destroy it.
Yeah.
They destroy it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But, alright, so here we go, we're covering it up. We've got dog food, we'll cover this up, we'll let kind of try and make it look as natural as possible. I'm trying to figure out which direction he came from. I think he came from over this berm, or he came from alongside the boat there, based on tracks last night. But he came buzzing through here. So that's the window right there that I was taking the time lapse from last night. We had the trail cam down here. I had put the kibble down there in front of the tail cam, and for some reason the trail cam just did not capture that fox last night. Even though it was hanging out right in front of the thing the whole time.
I'm not too worried about that side as much.
Yeah, I won't notice it because that barrel, probably.
Alright. And he still may be a little hesitant because it's not very covered on the right side, but we put enough
food going up to it.
Yeah, from that video last night, I don't think you're gonna have any
Yeah, he certainly liked the kibble for sure.
Yeah.
And it's pretty stinky kibble. It's a fish-based kibble, so.
I'd say we get some of that.
Okay. So here's the kibble we're using. I don't know what it is. It's an expensive kibble because our dogs are spoiled. So, but.
So this fox should be very.
Yeah, it should be a spoiled
happy.
fox. Yeah.
Maybe just a couple through here, not much, huh? And then.
Might have to leave it out a night or two if he doesn't.
Maybe.
Come through tonight and decide to go in there.
He'll come through tonight. It's just, will he commit to going in there?
Right.
And so here's the tricky part.
I just keep getting you off frame, man.
I just got to get all the way in there.
Oh, to put the food on that? Oh, can't we just lift up the end and toss it in the backside?
On that side. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Toss it through the grate?
We could. Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, I think you got to go in.
Yep, got to go in.
I didn't see. I thought the grate was maybe a little bit wider than that.
You see it there?
There
you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm not going to put any of this anywhere in this cage except for behind this pan. Because I want him to go all the way in there and step on it. And I want to make sure that this, nothing is blocking it from shutting. And it is good. It's going to shut there because I hit it with my back.
Excellent.
And it's set.
All right, well, tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see what we got, or a little bit earlier even. Probably, because it'll get in there overnight.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll have to come out and check it in the morning, and I'll put the GoPro back up, the time lapse.
How wild would it be though if it got in there before tonight?
If it was like in there this afternoon?
Yeah, before dark.
Yeah, right.
Came over and so one of the afternoon snacks.
I was hungry. Like, damn, that kibble was good. I can't help myself. All right, cool. All right, well, more to come. So here's the fox after we dispatched it. It appears it's got mange. I'm not sure if the rabies can cause issues with the hair and the skin, but it's a pretty small one, and that mange can affect other animals in the area. So, a good thing we dispatched it anyways.
Well, it turns out that the fox that we caught did not have rabies. It did have mange, however. That was confirmed by the Fish and Wildlife person that we brought it into. I did talk to the Fish and Wildlife guy the day we caught the fox about rabies and the issues that they have in this area. There have been problems with foxes and reports of foxes chasing people around town, which is not a normal behavior for fox unless they have rabies. And so Drew has gone out with his trap and caught some others in town to help some other people out. People are a little nervous about their kids and that kind of thing with these fox running around. So that said, we did our good deed for the neighborhood, getting this fox out of here. It was not usable, and that was the only fox. I have not seen any trace of any foxes in the yard since then. So yeah, I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it informative. It was definitely an experience that I've never had before. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit like, all the other good gobbledygook that you're supposed to do. And we'll catch you later.